and that are going to transform the world as we know it. Robotics, energy storage, artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, and multi-omic sequencing in the life science space. The last is the most complicated.
And how long have you been an investor?
I started when I was 20 years old at a company called Capital Group. And I was introduced to the firm by Art Laffer. Now, Art Laffer, he's one of the most important economists of our time. He created something called the Laffer curve. He's advised most presidents since President Nixon, and he's advising President Trump as well.
And how is...
Apple should have been all over that. And they were trying, and we saw one management turnover after another. This is an AI project. And what we were learning as they were turning that team over time and again is they weren't getting AI right. They were not positioning correctly.
You're concerned for Apple?
I think Apple, it has so much cash. It has such a loyal customer base. It will be fine, but maybe its revenue growth has slowed to almost nothing. And so maybe it'll be a mature cash cow. That's not what we do. We invest in tech. The world around AI is going to happen very quickly. And Tesla is the largest AI project on Earth. I posted that on X, and Elon liked it, so it must be true. But it is true if our research is correct. We believe that the entire ecosystem associated with autonomous taxi networks is going to be worth $8 to $10 trillion in terms of rent. But this is the direction that Tesla certainly is headed. We believe that Tesla will be able to offer a service for 25 cents per mile. And because of that, we think there will be much more congestion in the roads. When you cut the price of something, you get more of it.
Yeah.
And that led us into the air. And so we've been studying eVTOLs.
What's an eVTOL?
eVTOL is an electric vehicle takeoff and landing.
Like a drone type thing?
Drone, but for people.
Yeah.
So we own Archer in our portfolio. And of course, AI is a part of this new world. The water. He would be able to figure out how to produce at scale the Model 3. That was, to us, a simple conclusion. Now, as in hindsight, as we're learning from Tesla, production hell, and they themselves were worried. That's why Elon slept on the floor in the production factory and just became maniacally involved, which is how he works. So yes, and now our prediction, the stock is, I'm not going to be exactly right on this, $270, $280. Our prediction in 5 years is $2,600. And 90% of that, as I mentioned, we expect all in around the world, including China, not just Tesla, but the entire ecosystem, an $8 to $10 trillion market in the next 5 to 10 years. For humanoid robots, we expect a $26 trillion revenue market. Now, that's going to be a little further along. Robotaxis will happen faster, but it may not be going.
What does that mean for humans?
So, the history of technology is that it has been a net job creator throughout history. But humanoid robots are getting awfully close to what we do, right? So it's a good question. I think creativity is a big part of that, ingenuity and creativity. And, I think there are going to be a lot of new inventions in the future. So let's see what those are. But even today, there's something called vibe coding. Have you heard of it? Okay. Because we've moved into the world of vision, because collapse in population in the developed world, because we're not producing children above the fertility rate. We are setting up for a shrinkage. With China is going there, Japan is going there, And so we're going to need, but most have gone up. As we look forward, based on the 5 innovation platforms around which we have centered our research and investing, if we're right, real GDP growth in the next 5 years could accelerate to 7.3%. And that gives you a sense of the economic activity, wealth generation out there. And when we are presenting to investors, we are actually presenting to them not only because they're investors. I shouldn't be this disrespectful, and it's not quite right, but at all. But so many are just hugging benchmarks, whether it's S&P 500 or MSCI World or the NASDAQ, that a machine can do that. A machine can do that easily. And that is what passive investing is machines doing it. I think in order to earn a place in the new world, you've got to add a lot of value, more value than a machine can. So in our case, we're saying, okay, well, our stocks are not in those benchmarks. And therefore, their criterion here. The technologies that we are following are going to cut across economic sectors and apply to more than one group of people. And then the third is that these technologies serve as launching pads for new technologies. So in the case of DNA sequencing, which was the base technology, we needed that before CRISPR gene editing could be created. We needed to be able, side. Elon's way of managing his companies is to attract the best and the brightest, not only scientists, engineers, but also business people. These are people who want to solve the hardest problems in the world. He sets a timeline that seems reasonable to him for milestones to occur. And he doesn't interfere unless they start missing those milestones. If I had to say one thing, he wants to do the right thing to transform the lot of most of humanity. And he started with Tesla, SpaceX and Tesla. Tesla, was an environmental move, which I think a lot of people attacking his cars, who are probably very supportive of the environmental movement, they've forgotten. Sending a rocket to Mars and with humanoid robots and ultimately people, he thinks will we got in at roughly $250. Today it's $104,000, I think, roughly. So we did get in very early. And we knew we were onto something, really, when people were making fun of us, saying, okay, that's a marketing trick. You're new to our business and, new to the new fund world, and you're trying to attract attention. And we were thinking, wow, they have no idea how much research we've done on this. And Art Laffer, my professor, again, from USC, we had him read since then, because it's not just a global monetary system. It is a new asset class. And that's a very big idea as well. What makes a new asset class? And we haven't had one truly since equities in the 1600s.
When you say a new asset class, you mean a completely new category of
funding companies, yes, okay. Right?
So an asset class would be something like technology is an asset class, right?
No, it would be like stocks, bonds, commodities, real estate. So they're used to going through booms and busts and booms and bailed out by the IMF, and they need an insurance policy.
So if you're in Venezuela, you need a currency that's going to be stable.
Exactly. Well, Bitcoin is, so stable coins are stable vis-a-vis the dollar. Bitcoin is more of an investment because it does appreciate over time. Now you go through, it's volatile, no question, and that's the first thing people like as well. We've gotten to know management very well. They fought the fight against regulators in a magnificent way, and they have educated policymakers, importantly, who understand that this innovation, we almost lost this innovation to the rest of the world because of our regulatory stance. They've helped policymakers understand that, hey, this infrastructure is what developers did not build into the internet in the early 90s because they didn't know finance or technology transitions. It has actually grown because those who love their games from 25 years ago still play them. It's grown with each technology revolution. So, and user-generated content in gaming is the next big thing.
A business is only as good as the people inside it. So how do you make sure you're hiring the best? Our sponsor, LinkedIn, can help you find these applicants quickly. I believe in taking time to hire slowly, but I also understand that once you've decided to hire, you want to get the ball rolling and get the best candidates in front of you to start interviewing. And that
Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and enabling post notifications for more content on crypto and digital assets. Check out our other videos and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement helps with the YouTube algorithm and keeps the content coming. Thanks for your support,